Go Pizza presents SCP. The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle and Adam Wilde.
Well, the takes, they are hot.
They sure are.
Let me warm myself up on the takes. Like Alex Ovechkin warming himself up on the stick.
The problem with the takes is that, like, at the buffet of takes, all the hot food is gone.
You know what I love is that,
we can't even have a hot take because they've all been taken.
Wow.
Like, could we creatively come up with a new hot
rounds, take? Oh, yeah!
True.
I think you're underestimating us.
Well, I mean, okay.
Would the Leafs be better off with Randy Carlyle? Who's going to be the first one to write that?
I think it's very clear that the Capitals losing last night was Alexander Ovechkin's fault, especially with the information this morning that's come to light that he will not play for Russia at the IIHF World Championships because of a lower body injury. He was he was getting multiple injections every game.
Oh, Jesus.
We don't know exactly what the problem was.
That. So that's the big surprise.
Well, it's a lower body injury. Maybe there was something in that Kadri hit. I don't know.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
I was just thinking lower body, lots of pain, lots of injections. I don't know. Who knows? It could have been for anything.
Yeah.
However,
well, injections to me, I mean, medical students help us out. That sounds like they're freezing something, so maybe he broke or fractured something. Mm-hmm. Jeez. Well, it's hard to be at 100% when you're doing that.
Sort of is, yeah.
Now, how many NHL players are playing with the same thing?
Good question.
That we just don't hear about.
That's a real good question.
Well,
Erik Karlsson playing
Alex
with
Steen.
a fractured foot.
Yeah, Alex Steen was. Joe Thornton was.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, and what's great is if the Sens get eliminated, it's going to be, Erik Karlsson, heroic effort, but you know what? Maybe he shouldn't have played with that. And then if they win, what a story. What a story.
Smite.
Just lay it all out there, kids. Hey, kids, if you break your foot, you should keep going and persevere like Erik Karlsson.
Can be a hero. Well, I just love the narrative that after, 12 years and how many second-round defeats, that it is still just Alexander Ovechkin's fault.
No, Nicholas Backstrom hasn't been there.
No, it sure hasn't been every player that's played with him.
No, not Braden Holtby.
Or maybe a really great Penguins team that has gone on to win the Cup multiple times. No. Couldn't be that either. No, let's focus it on the one guy on the team.
Everyone,
the captain.
I like doing this show at noon. Mm-hmm. I really do, because it cools down the takes a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, it gives us a little bit of time to think.
People are laughing. Imagine how hot our takes would be if we didn't have time to cool down.
I know.
Holy.
I know. It's like putting a hot frying pan under the tap.
Right.
Yeah. That's recording the show at noon. But I was just looking at what people were saying, and it's great. And Leafs fans have great experience at this. Reacting to a playoff series that we had nothing to do with.
That's great.
As the level-headed neutral party, and just going, what on earth are you all talking about? The Caps, what would the story have been if the Caps, I don't know, let's say win 2-1 in overtime. Alex Ovechkin doesn't get a single point, but they win 2-1 in overtime. Came back from a 3-1 series deficit. Like, okay, if the Golden State Warriors finish off the Cavs last year, are we talking about blowing up the Cavs?
No, I don't think we are.
No, you're talking about a team that did what it's supposed to do. They were expected to win. Washington was expected to go deep in the playoffs, and they're doing it. So it wouldn't be shocking at all.
Yeah. And now everyone is talking about
if the Raptors finished off the Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference Final, they might have said, well, maybe you got to trade Kevin Love, or LeBron just does not have that winning gene, despite the fact that he's won 2 or 3 of them.
We saw number 2 beat number 1. Number 2 in the entire league.
Beat number
1. Wasn't that the big hubbub going into the series? Oh, I know it's a dream matchup, but we should be getting it in round 3. What's going on here? I mean, you're looking at it as
number 2 with an asterisk. It's without Letang, without Daly, without Crosby for a game.
I guess. I mean, but the Penguins always have injuries.
Right.
I mean...
And they have some amazing young players that have just come in out of nowhere. And, I mean, what is it? Gensel's tied Jaromir Jagr for playoff points by a
something
rookie?
like that.
Yeah. He's got 14,
ridiculous.
and Jagr had 14. And this is round 2.
Anytime you're the first to do something since Maurice Richard, and they put your picture up to, next to his black and white one, you're doing okay.
You've done something.
Yeah. But again, heading into that game yesterday, I'm listening to the radio. They're talking about, it was Jeff Merrick, and, I'm not going to say his takes were hot, but heading into the game, was the Trevor Daley injury finally the straw that broke the camel's back. And then they go and get a shutout.
I also think that there is, in Pittsburgh, there just seems to be, it's so weird. The defending Cup champions had less pressure on them than the Capitals did.
Amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
Amazing.
But I honestly feel like the pressure broke the Caps. And yeah, Ovechkin was injured. Yeah, but
no, but Mr. Game 7.
Well, yeah, Justin Williams. Can I
Is that
play
dead
for
now?
you?
Is that finally dead?
I hope it's dead.
A little bit.
How many Game 7 goals did he actually end up having? How many games was it?
No, wasn't it like 7 goals, 7 assists in 7 Game 7s, and he's 7-0?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
wow.
That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
That's not luck. That's kind of...
That's 14 points for number 14. What? And that's why it ended on number 8. 8, Alex Ovechkin's number. That's why it's his fault. He broke Mr. Game 7.
Damn.
What?
Illuminati confirmed.
What?
It's real. It's real. All right. Would you like to hear the hottest take from last night?
It's
Guess
probably
what?
not even... Oh,
Guess who it's coming from?
Oh, no.
The hottest take. Are you ready?
Let's hear it.
From NBC.
Ovechkin still has not been to a conference final. 6 Caps forwards played more minutes in Game 7
Give it
than
to
your
me, Mike.
cap in the face of your franchise. Is that the way you would have done it?
He was on the ice for both goals against. One of them very directly involved. The first one, I think he had a decent chance to get it out, looked a little lazy on it. I think the Ovechkin experiment has to be reviewed. Lots of decisions to make. I don't think that he tries hard. I just don't think he's a heady enough hockey player to get it done in key moments.
And I guess that's what Barry Trotz didn't want to say when he was talking there, just saying emotionally didn't want to answer that question. There's reasons why Ovechkin was moved down to a lesser role on the third line. I don't think Barry Trotz was counting on Ovechkin having a big night before this game started. If they were going to win, it was going to be on the back of Backstrom, Kuznetsov, the guys that have been playing well in the series. Ovechkin wasn't the go-to guy.
So that's Mike Milbury and then Keith Jones. And I wondered with this, with the knee injury coming to light afterwards, right? It's not like Ovechkin
Or
was...
lower body or whatever.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Sorry, lower body. It's not as though Ovechkin was bad. Right?
If I
like,
can,
yes,
if
he
I
didn't
can,
clear the puck out, but then it went through. By the way, on that second goal, forgive me, but were Shattenkirk and Nate Schmidt not right in front of the net, and he just had an unbelievable backhand, and it hooked?
No, it was so lucky.
Yeah, like it was the most. It was a crazy goal.
No.
It was a turnover, which happens, and then it was an unbelievable goal.
No. When a goal goes in, it's always the winger's fault.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
like, how
always-
is that? How is that? Both defense were back, and he shot it over the goalie's glove, and the goalie didn't get, like,
If
9 times out of 10, that's not a goal.
No.
You know what? I do the yelling and screaming thing. This is the first time I've felt like Stephen A. Smith. Like, that is so disrespectful. The Alex Ovechkin experiment.
Figured you'd like that.
A hearty, genuine fuck you. How do you have a job covering this goddamn sport? The Alex Ovechkin... I don't want to say this because he's just such a gold mine, but I want to say let's never play a Mike Milbury.
Well,
clip on
that'll
the show
never
ever
happen.
again.
You can't
That's
do
not
that
gonna
to me.
happen.
You can't do that to me.
That's so disrespectful.
I think-
that is so incredibly disrespectful.
We're not promoting
to
it as-
Alex Ovechkin. Alex Ovechkin would not wipe his ass with a score sheet with Mike Milbury on it. Like, his career does not even register on the Richter scale compared to Alex Ovechkin's. How fucking dare you? Oh my God.
It's an experiment, though.
Oh.
They're just trying things out with
I
Ovi.
don't know
Oh
how
my
many
God.
12-year experiments you've been involved in, but it seems like an awfully long time.
You know what? I just want to congratulate the Washington Capitals on winning the 2018 Stanley Cup. I just want to congratulate them on that because this is the model, and Pittsburgh proved the model. You say that you're going to trade your Russian superstar. He doesn't get traded, stays on your team, you win a cup. Happened with Malkin. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen with Alex.
I gotta say,
I hope. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Experiment.
We should just start calling things experiment. Like your marriage is kind of an experiment.
I'm experimenting with
How's
this
your
commitment
decade-long
thing.
experiment with SL? It's about as long as Ovechkin's career. How would you say it's going?
I think the Mike Milbury experiment deserves some review. How long has he been on NBC?
Probably about the same time
about
you've
the
been
same
married.
amount of time.
And
That
Keith Jones
is,
too. Didn't they both used to be at the Three Letter Network?
I don't know.
I think they did. I think
Well,
they
Mike
did.
Milbury used to be on CBC,
Yeah.
On the other Three Letter,
which is why
yeah,
it's
that's right.
awkward saying stuff about him because like I work with people who worked with him. Keith Jones, I think, might have been. I don't remember.
We can disagree with his opinion. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No. Adam, I disagree with your opinion sometimes. I disagree with Jesse's opinion. That does not deserve the time of day. I'm so flabbergasted by the
Adam,
disrespect.
how's your radio career experiment?
It's about 10 years. When are you going to get back to the whole Shoppers Drug Mart thing? Like, I think you really had something going on there. Yeah. You and Drake and all your pals. When's Drake going to be done with this music experiment?
Yeah, really.
When's he going back to Degrassi?
Degrassi. The next class.
He's going to get back to this acting thing. I mean, that's what
he's great at. He needs to be a student of the rap game.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Oh, my God.
He's too lazy for it, you know?
He tries hard, but he's lazy. Like, just...
That was the thing. You know,
At least be a full asshole. Like, you can tell he's covering up for himself. If you're going to be Mike Milbury, be Mike Milbury.
just say, I don't like him.
Yeah, because he's a dirty, gross Russian. Like, just say that.
Is that what you... I don't know if that's what it is. I think he's just an easy guy to pick
Ain't
at.
Nicholas Backstrom.
There are other players on that team that can score, by the way.
How come always?
I know. I
Always
get
a
that.
Russian and PK? How come always a Russian and PK? Oh, my goodness.
So...
How bad does he want, like, some papers to come out that it's PK Subbanov? Like, how bad?
Badly. I think badly.
How bad?
Pretty bad.
Oh, my God.
So...
Experiment.
When I started
A
the show
fucking
with...
experiment.
When I started the show with us saying, you know, I don't know how many hot takes we could possibly have because they're all taken, that's what I had in mind. I mean, I don't... that is
That's
the
much
mother.
worse than the one I saw.
That's wow. And you know, it's funny because now, of course, and already, I think going into game 6, I saw some articles
That the Caps won.
I saw some articles
After winning
going,
game
you know,
5.
if they don't win tonight, Capitals have to look at trading Ovechkin. Now, here's the thing. Ovechkin's still pretty damn good.
No.
And trading your best player isn't going to get you closer to it. I like unless you're and I don't. Here's the other thing, and I want to quantify this because I think it's important. Deadspin, as much as I love that website, can be a little
Who's
snarky
the next
sometimes.
Adam Larson? Let's see.
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
As much as I love Deadspin, they started today with the Capitals choked again. Now I would like
Well,
to
I mean, okay.
hold on.
Sure,
I'd like to qualify what is a choke.
They were expected to win. Okay, you know what? Sometimes it's a little unfair. The Leafs were the heavy underdogs against the Bruins in 2013. And they were expected to lose, and they did lose. That's not a choke. They were up 4-1 with like 11 minutes to play. They choked. That's a different standard. The Capitals, their standard for choking was win or you've choked. Win the Stanley Cup or you've choked. Or at very least get to the Stanley Cup final. If they make it to the Eastern Conference final, do people cut them some slack? And, well, you know, anything can happen when you get to the Final Four. Do you think?
I just don't think it was a choke. I think they went up against, I thought they were the number 1 team in the league that went up against number 2.
Yeah.
And they took number 2 to 7 games and they didn't choke. I don't think it was a choke.
outplayed them in arguably 6 of 7 games.
If the Caps get a different seed in the East, are they in the Eastern Conference Finals? If they play,
If the Columbus Blue Jackets had kept their had played just like a couple percentage above what they
Yeah.
did after their win
And
streak,
they won the division?
they would have played fucking.
Yeah.
Well, they probably ended up with a different matchup.
if Caps go,
Well, it would have been
Sens-
Caps Pens first
Would have
round.
been Caps Pens, yeah. Or New York wins a couple extra games. Pittsburgh loses a couple.
Just if it ends up Caps play Sens and then Rangers, or Columbus then Sens, or whatever it is.
If.
Right.
Would the Leafs be in the Eastern Conference final right now if they win against Columbus?
If they wait,
Then who do we play in the first round? We played
I
the Sens in
think
the
it would have
first
been then would it have been the Sens?
Remember, we were
So
Ottawa
maybe-
Yeah, I
there
definitely
was-
think. I
Then
definitely
they take
think
on the
would've been-
Rangers? Maybe.
It's their own fault. They should have had a better matchup too. However, they're young.
They
and
were up
whatever.
2-0 in that game. Is that a joke?
No,
I'd say that's a joke.
I don't think that this was a choke. I think they were just. Sometimes you just get beaten.
Yeah.
And you can't look at the history on this because I don't think it matters. They lined up the chart of the last time the Caps and Pens played a game 7 against each other. It was like 2009. And there's like 7 players left. I mean, they're just not, it's not fair to say this team is that team.
You know what I love about our listeners is they take little clips of ours and they put them in a vault. So here's one to put in a vault. How many years is it going to take? Maybe months. Is it going to take until we say the same things about Alex Ovechkin the same things about Vladimir Tarasenko that we say about Alex Ovechkin? Where's Tarasenko's cup? I don't see it. Joke. The Blues have been favored so many times. They've gone into the playoffs. Where's his cup? No
I think
leadership.
he's got a better chance now that they don't have Shattenkirk, obviously.
I mean, they're never. Yeah.
Where's
yeah.
Shattenkirk's cup?
Yeah, no, doesn't
I think
matter.
there's different expectations on Ovechkin because he was supposed to be 1-2 with Crosby when they both came into the league, and he was supposed to be the best player in the world.
And is he not?
And he's completely with Crosby.
1-2, 1-2-3 with
then
McDavid?
He hasn't lived up to those expectations where they're expecting him to win cups. And I don't think that was ever on Tarasenko, so I
winning
don't
a
think
cup
comparison's too fair.
Is crazily fucking hard.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not saying it's a fair comparison. I'm just saying it's going to happen.
I don't think so.
Best player on his team, Russian.
I don't think it's
Those
gonna-
were my
I don't think
standards.
it's gonna happen.
You don't think it's going to happen for him?
No, I don't think the comparisons are going to happen. I don't think people look at Tarasenko that
No,
way.
I agree.
Because people
As
have
a superstar
decided that
like
they like
Ovechkin.
him.
I agree. Yeah.
People have decided that they like him. Though.
Yeah.
Like, people made a decision. Like, so many people have the same opinion about Alex Ovechkin that they had over a decade ago. He came into the league. They decided they didn't like him.
Yeah, because he scored that really crazy goal from behind his head.
Yeah.
And then he celebrated too much, God forbid.
Yeah, and the Crosby diving, crybaby, Crosby, all that crap. Like, he has 2 cups now. He shits on you. Like, Crosby would wake up miserable if he ever woke up with your life. Any of the people who criticize him, he's Sidney Crosby.
That was like, what was it?
He doesn't
when
need to
LeBron-
answer to you.
LeBron lost the finals or something. He's like, I'm still LeBron.
I mean,
I still get to wake up and be LeBron.
yeah.
He's right. He's right. He's absolutely right.
And if he wins another championship, he'll be LeBron. And if he loses in the final this year, he'll be LeBron. He
will still be
and
LeBron.
if he,
And hats off to the Penguins for bottling the Washington Capitals up in that third period and for playing a tough game. They gritted that series out. There's no question.
Pittsburgh fans will be happy with a win regardless, but we are taking away a bit from an amazing performance.
Yeah.
An amazing performance.
Absolutely. The fact that Matt Murray hasn't played once.
No, he's been
Home
injured
game.
up until.
Well, that's what
he
I mean.
backed him up,
Yeah.
last
But
game.
that's
Did he back up?
He backed up last game.
Remember
right.
that
Game
the
7.
Penguins don't have their quote-unquote starting goaltender. I know they have 2 starters, but still.
Yeah. Marc-Andre Fleury in career game 7s on the road is 3-0 with a 1 goals against average, a .959 save percentage, and 1 shutout. So
If I am
Fleury's kinda
Calgary,
good.
I am all over that like white on rice, baby. I am all over that.
I was looking at the Ben Bishop and Dallas situation.
No, we'll get to that. Don't get too much into it.
No, I know. But I kept getting sidetracked going, how on earth is Pittsburgh going to avoid losing one of these guys?
They're going to trade him.
They can't, right?
They're going to trade him.
I think before the playoffs started, there might have been a little chance. Little chance.
I have a theory.
Oh,
I have
yeah?
a theory. We'll get to it.
Ooh,
We'll get to it.
interesting.
Because it has to do with Bishop, and the Flames missed out on Bishop, so we'll get into it there.
Okay.
We'll talk about it then. So anyway, congratulations to Penguins fans. Enjoy this. This is going to be amazing. Ottawa, Pittsburgh. And it's funny. So many former Toronto Maple Leafs left in the Final Four. So for Anaheim, we've got Randy Carlyle, Jonathan Bernier, and Corbinian Holzer has stuck around somehow.
Did you say Dave Nonis?
Oh, Dave Nonis too, yeah.
Dave Nonis.
Nashville's got P.A. Parento. How did P.A. Parento end up in Nashville after New York and New Jersey and traded at the trade deadline?
Yeah.
Pittsburgh has Mr. Phil Kessel, and Ottawa has Phaneuf, MacArthur, and Victor Stahlberg.
I forgot about Victor Stahlberg until someone mentioned it. He's one of those guys, like, that's another time. Like, that's
It is another time,
era.
yeah.
Like, that is a long time ago.
The Victor Stahlberg era of the Leafs.
Remember when he was the big rookie?
No.
Oh my God. He
Yeah, I
was
do
the
remember
big
that.
rookie on the Leafs, and Like not
Anton
not,
Strawman.
Not even Connor Brown. Anton Strawman. Oh my God! I specifically remember they asked. There were comparisons of Anton Strawman to Nicholas Lidstrom because he was a Swedish defenseman
who happened to be
looked
tall.
good. Yeah. And so they asked John Ferguson about that, and he goes, if he turns out to be 80% of Nicholas Lidstrom, I will be over the moon happy. And it took a while, but...
He turned out to be pretty good. I don't think 80% of Nicholas Lindstrom, but...
I don't know about that.
Randy Carlyle says... And by the way, we're gonna start a segment called Randy Carlyle Says.
I missed these. I heard he was good.
So Randy does have some good quotes, and especially now that Randy is in the Final Four, we're going to be hearing a lot more from Randy. So Randy says, according to Chris Johnson,
according to who?
Chris Johnston, sorry,
Johnny.
Johnny? Who calls him Johnny?
Randy Carlyle.
Oh, does he?
Remember that?
Oh, I've forgotten that.
Yeah. He said Carlyle walked up to him. He's like, "Hey, Johnny."
Oh, God, that's funny.
No, I don't know if he's just giving him a little nickname or if he actually thinks his name is
Randy.
He doesn't know his name.
Randy actually, he seems like he's a fun guy to be around.
Yeah.
Like he seems like a pretty warm dude.
He does, and I look back on some of the things I said over the years, and I feel bad because, like, okay, I didn't want him to be the coach, but did he deserve all of that? I don't know.
Yeah, we all have regrets, man.
Yeah.
Randy Carlyle says the Canadian media disrespected the Ducks by not talking more about their young players.
I don't know about that. I mean, we've been talking about the Ducks' young players all year and how we want them to be Leafs.
That's what I thought.
What are you talking about?
I guess the rest of the Canadian media didn't talk enough about it.
Oh, the Oiler Canadian media?
I don't know. Interesting. The Oilers.
I hate that. The Canadian media. That's
when he
very
says-
broad.
When he says Canadian media, he's talking about Toronto media.
You think so?
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Probably. I would imagine he still clicks on a few links from here.
Yeah.
He does know everybody face to face, right?
Yeah, well, maybe. I don't know. I mean, if I was Carlyle, I'd be throwing all kinds of shade. Like, I mean, he was basically run out of the largest market in the world
And deservedly so.
for hockey. Well, yeah. But again, he's got a cup. So I'm Randy Carlyle. I have a cup. You can't tell me shit. Look at the team that I
That's
had.
part of the problem, though.
Yeah. But now I'm in the
That was
Final
why you
Four. Look, here I am. Not just there I was. Here I am again. You doubly can't tell me shit. If Randy Carlyle wins another cup, the takes from both sides are going to be toasty.
Who writes the first article that the Leafs should have hung on to the 2013 team? Who writes the first article?
Might be Adam Wild.
It's not going to be me.
You were saying some slanderous things in the Facebook
I was writing in the
group
Facebook
today.
group jokingly. I'm
Okay.
the Leafs should have hung on to that 2013 team. They would have won something. No, absolutely not.
I thought there were parts that they maybe should have held on to, but yeah, oh my God. I had all these tweets in my back pocket for if the Ducks lost. I'm like, oh, did he bench Komarov for the final 17 minutes again? Or Komarov played the same amount of ice time that he did.
Yeah, they didn't lose. Edmonton, bitter pill. But pretty freaking great year.
Yeah.
Like, how can you be upset about that?
They can't. Darren Millard was saying something strange on Hockey Central on our way in. He was like, well, the Oilers, they had this great year and, they should be proud of it. But, boy, it seemed like they had a clear path to the Stanley Cup.
It's Anaheim, man.
What?
Yeah,
No.
well, because his argument was a lot of the heavyweights are out. And I'm like, no, they're not.
Anaheim.
Nashville's kind of good.
Anaheim is still a heavyweight.
Good.
Yeah, I mean,
Any team that Ryan Getzlaf plays on.
a lot of people, like, we got to remember, like, a lot of the mainstream folks had, like, no one at ESPN, who I don't know if they're still at ESPN.
There's no one at
but
ESPN. That's
yeah.
good. That's an accurate statement.
Heading
No one
into
at
the playoffs
ESPN.
when ESPN had people.
Yeah.
I think they had like 10 people predict that series. Not a single one of them picked the Preds. You went into the little blogosphere there, and it wasn't all Preds, but it was about 50-50. And all it took was a little Twitter stream from Tyler Dello, and I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm picking the Preds.
So did I.
A sweep? Jesus. I didn't
Sweet
think
Jesus is right.
Sweep Jesus.
You know what? It's going to be a very, very interesting series. But to me, because by the way, I have the Preds going all the way to the finals. So
I have them losing in the Western Conference Final to Anaheim.
wow, nice job.
Yeah.
They won't, but that's cool.
And in the East, I have Washington beating the Habs. So
I think I had the Habs going high too. I can't even remember what I put in my bracket. Yeah, I got to stop betting on the Habs. they're really letting me down every year.
Yep.
So, rumor has it, because,
I did the baseline.
rumor has it that one of the two $6 million men will be out in Edmonton this summer. That is one of Ryan Nugent-Tompkins, according to Don Cherry,
Eric Butskin.
and Jordan Eberle. Now,
I mean, that's believable.
That's what
What's
happens when you sign Lucic.
well, I was thinking about it and going, because obviously Leon Draisaitl's playing really well with Connor McDavid, but they see Leon Draisaitl as the 1-2 behind Connor McDavid, right?
Which is how I see it in most people.
So
Malkin, Crosby.
that means, because let's, and with no disrespect to Jordan Eberle, trading a winger that makes $6 million gets you far less than a center that makes $6 million.
Yeah.
And Nugent Hopkins is a legitimate 2-1. I mean, like, he could be a number one on many teams. Like, wouldn't he look good on the Montreal Canadiens?
Do the Oilers expose Eberle? I don't know what their situation is.
I don't either.
Probably not.
I don't know if you could. He might have a no move or no
Yeah, he
trade.
might not be able
He was
to.
signed
He
in the old regime when things were bold and everything stayed the same.
I mean, Eberle, I look at the Oilers and their immediate replacement for him would be Jesse Puljujarvi. And that makes some sense. Nugent Hopkins, like $6 million is a lot to pay your third line center, but
Still a third line center who's unbelievable.
Yeah.
how are you going to get value?
It's the Tavares situation again.
Oh, there it is.
Well,
You
no,
run out 3 top line centers.
well, the thing is that do they have to? Do the Oilers have to do anything?
No, but it's Peter Chiarelli. Like, that guy's got itchy feet.
Like, if I were them, I would just keep it. Leave it. You easily could have been in the Eastern Conference Finals. Why tinker?
Western. Yeah.
Western, sorry. Why not?
I would look at the Eberle one pretty hard. And I like Jordan Eberle.
And what do you think the Oilers' needs are? Because the thing is that do you get another winger back? Do you get, like, do you go after a winger like him? Or do you go after a big physical winger like James Van Riemsdyk, whose contract's up? Do you go for a defenseman? Maybe Anaheim's willing to look at that. Although $6 million is a lot to hold on to. Like, what are you getting? And that's why I think if any of those two are going, it's Nugent Hopkins because he's a center. And people are actually willing to give up real assets for that.
But then you got to replace him. Like, I don't even know who their centers are beyond him.
I don't know. Can we
Yeah, I'll
pull
pull
up
it
the Oilers depth chart here? And, I just thought it was very interesting that was like bang, the first thing. And I thought, if I am Peter Chiarelli and I'm not, I think what the Leafs regime of the last couple of years has taught me is a little bit more patience.
You know what?
Like, don't make a move just to make a move.
Yeah, I was thinking about something last night. Is whenever a team gets knocked out of the playoffs, the first thought is, what do they do? Who do they get rid of? And I'm like, you made the playoffs.
Yeah.
You were one of the top half of the league. And you could have just as easily bounced here or there, especially if you're one of the teams that made it to Game 7, been in the next round. What do you mean tearing it all down? Like, Washington is a little different. They put all their eggs in this year's basket. They literally can't afford to re-sign the guys that they have.
Right.
I mean, Shattenkirk is certainly gone. Justin Williams, you might not be able to bring back. But, like, the Oilers?
Yeah.
Where's the fire? Where's the fire?
Well, and especially when you've got a guy like maybe I mean, I don't know who's going to take on two more years and $8 million of Benoit Pouliot, but maybe you can find a taker there. He looked good with McDavid when he did play with him, and back with Yak and Pouliot.
Oh, my God.
That was quite the line.
McYakpoo line.
But you've got David Desharnais who's up, Matt Hendricks is up, Cassian's an RFA, Draisaitl's an RFA.
And Cassian's
Yikes.
worth bringing back.
26. Yeah, I think Draisaitl is an RFA. Connor McDavid's an RFA next year, and then you've got on the back end Chris Russell and Eric Greiba ready to leave time. If you don't want to resign them.
Well, Greiba you can stomach. Even on their back end, like Sekera, Clefbaum, Larson. So those are your big three
Not
for
bad.
a long time. You got Nurse. Chris Russell's an interesting one.
How do you make room for Draisaitl's new contract?
You get rid of Eberle. Like that. That's why I'm not.
Or Pouliot. Because Puljujarvi can come
Where
in
is
for him.
Pouliot?
Like, can you not hang on to
there he
Eberle
is.
for one more year?
Pouliot, $4 million for the next 2 seasons. You can probably get rid of. He's listed as a winger. I could have swore he played some center. If you can get rid of Eberle, you should definitely do it. I think just because not anything against him. It's just he's very expensive, and you have what looks to be a young, cheap replacement player for him. Puljujarvi, I bet, could have an impact next year.
Pouliot had 14 points this year, so probably not going to get rid of him.
Ooh.
67 games.
You could swing a 7th.
You would have to suck some salary back. But they have.
Maybe he gets claimed. I haven't looked at the Oilers
They have
situation.
$23 million, $22 million. I was looking at this last night. $22.46 million in projected cap space. They ended the season, and they've got potentially $5 million of that in potential performance bonuses. So that's McDavid,
who's going to hit all of his. Draisaitl, who's going to hit all of his.
Yeah. So you've got.
Well, no, he's not entry level anymore.
Drake Caligula.
Kajula. How dare you?
I know. I just like calling him Caligula.
Caligula.
That's why I just like saying that. So
Dracula.
I feel like they have the money to hang on for another year. But if you could send a pick to Vegas, because Pouliot does not have a no move, you could expose him. They could take him, and you send a pick their way, and that's off your books. And then you could keep a guy like Eberle, who does have top 6 skill. Keep him there.
He just had a bad playoffs, and I don't know. We haven't every playoff. It's like, ooh, who's injured with what?
Yeah, that's true.
Can I get something out of the way with Vegas though? I've really, ever since I had that conversation with Cap Friendly about how everything actually works with the expansion draft, I've started to look at every team. It's exhausting. I don't think I'm going to do it anymore until each team announces who they're actually protecting and leaving exposed.
Oh, I think we can't do it until that's the case.
Because we can hypothesize, but it'll take forever, and it's just it is the rice chips of conversation. Like you think you're eating something, but it's mostly air.
Is it wrong to think that they'll be kind of decent?
Oilers?
Vegas.
I think they'll be good.
Yeah, you know what? I'm starting to think that. Yeah. I've been saying for a long time that they'll be bad. I don't think so. Oh, and there was some really interesting stuff from LeBrun yesterday, too.
Well, I'll get to that in just a second.
Okay.
Because I do want to say the Rangers are in a tough spot in this particular situation. And we'll get to LeBrun right after this, I promise you. The Rangers will lose one of Grabner or Ranta.
To what?
To Vegas.
I didn't even think of that. Yesterday, last podcast, we were talking about, why would they get rid of Ranta? Well,
they kind of have to. Or they get rid of Henrik.
Which
no. Unless they make a move, they're going to lose them. One of them, and the Rangers will draft in the first round this year. Can you name the year the last time the Rangers drafted in the first round? How long do you think it's average team?
2 years ago.
Since they've drafted in the first round, 2013.
2012.
Oh wow.
Who was it?
Don't know. I looked at it this morning. And I cannot remember.
That's crazy.
Rangers.
Because Vegas, they'll get a decent goalie. There seems to be so many.
I think they'll get two. What if they're tandem next year?
So the last guy they drafted,
Fleury Ranta.
The last guy they drafted first overall was Brady Skage.
Oh, Brady Skage. No, Brady Skage. He was in their lineup this year and he was good. He was good.
Yeah.
I think one of Fleury or Ranta will go to Calgary. You would assume.
Oh, if they can pull off a trade.
I think this is where this is what I want to get into.
Your theory?
My theory. Yeah. My theory on we say, and then we'll get to Pierre LeBrun's tweets, which were very, very interesting.
Does he mention Brady Skage?
Not Pierre LeBrun. Ben Bishop's rights are now with Dallas.
Yes,
sure. And one of the things that Dean Lombardi wanted to do, had he held on to the Kings' reins, was to keep Ben Bishop for some reason. But the new management in LA, in all their wisdom, were like, well, we could get something back for him, so they got a 4th round pick.
Which I think is what they gave up.
Is that what they gave up? Oh, I thought it was more than that.
Might have been a little bit more.
Can we look that up? I want to know that. In the meantime,
might be on Cap.
What I find is interesting is that I believe it was John Shannon that tweeted that Calgary was right there.
John Shannon's been great recently.
Yes, on fire.
He's been really good.
And he said Calgary was right there and they missed out. I'm like, okay, 4th round pick. You have a great team. 4th round pick.
Yeah.
And you missed out. What possibly could you have missed? What was the thing that you weren't willing to go to?
So I don't remember where I read this, but supposedly I think Bishop had some kind of a no move clause or like a limited one, and he said no to Calgary.
Okay, fair enough.
Now, believe me, if I didn't know that, I'd be like, "What? You couldn't give up a fourth? What's wrong with you?"
For a starting goal, like this is a team that's built. They just need a goalie, and I mean they made the playoffs with horrendous goaltending. Like despite the horrendous goaltending.
Yeah, well, and good at times, but damn, Brian Elliott, like,
dude,
oh
dude,
my God,
Jesse.
The Bishop trade was Ben Bishop and a 5th round pick to the Kings for Peter Budaj, Eric Cernak, and 2017 7th round pick and a 2017 conditional pick.
I wonder what the condition was.
I can check the conditions on that.
interesting.
Okay, so they got a 4th round. They got something back. That's the point, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty nothing.
But it's a smart move, asset right, like good asset management on the Kings' part, and Dallas needs to figure their shit out, quite frankly, on goaltending.
So I wrote a whole article around that.
Yes, 1 sec. My
Sure,
theory with
sure.
Penguins in Calgary is this: Brian Burke, Brad Treliving, they know they have a good team. They know they need a goaltender. And one thing Brian Burke never got done in Toronto was he never sorted out what the hell the goaltending situation was. It was sort of James Reimer.
Well, he walked ass backwards into James Reimer
yes,
too.
and wanted
He inherited him. That was a John Ferguson pick.
There you go, from that really great draft in like 07 or 08 or something like that.
They had a couple. John Ferguson's draft record was decent. He just never had picks.
So with that in mind, you think Brian Burke's going to be a little bit, he's going to be on it, right? I mean, Brad Treliving, they say Brian Burke's hands off, but I have a hard time believing that. Brad Treliving and Brian Burke want a goalie. The goalie to get is Pittsburgh's goalie. The goalie to get is Marc-Andre Fleury. And the best part about this is, A, he's Canadian, so he probably want to come here, although I'm surprised Ben Bishop didn't want to come.
I mean, he's from Quebec.
Yeah.
I have such a weird thing with Canada. Well, he's Canadian. Okay, have you ever been to Quebec?
It's
and
different.
then Alberta?
Different.
They're not the same.
Yeah, it's like New England and Texas. Different.
Yeah. There's no
Like,
Canada.
do any of us have any ties to anywhere outside of Ontario?
Well, Adam does.
Who's moved around.
I don't think I do.
Like, I would never say, "Oh yeah, it's Vancouver, it's Canada. I want to live there." No.
It is different.
I
Very
like
different
Toronto.
lifestyle, different mentality for sure.
One of my aunts by marriage is French Canadian. That's it. Really? That's
I think Calgary is going to make a hard push, and Pittsburgh's going to be open to it. Because Pittsburgh knows, whether they win the cup or not, Pittsburgh knows that they lose Marc-Andre Fleury for nothing.
Well, I don't. Oh, to Vegas. Yes. It's interesting. It started.
Calgary's going to be the hardest pushing team on this. You watch. They have to be.
The situation started with, please take this guy, or at least that's what it seemed like from the outside. And now, I mean, after the playoffs, and that's all it takes is one really hot playoffs. I mean, he's the hot commodity on the market.
And Pittsburgh could get some significant, not crazy assets, but significant assets back from any team that gets him. Like, I think he's worth Vegas not getting him for a lot of teams. You know, he would have been worth it for Dallas for sure.
Holy smoke! The more I'm thinking about it, a Fleury Ranta tandem would A, be very good.
Oh my God.
B, I believe $6.75 million.
Wow.
I don't think that can happen.
Why?
Why would the other teams in the league let Fleury and Raanta go to Vegas? Why wouldn't somebody make a move for that?
Well, New York and Pittsburgh are going to want to make those trades. They're going to want to. So you got.
I mean, if you're Calgary, why not make Ranta your guy instead of Fleury? One's $1 million.
One's won a cup, potentially two. Well, no, one's won 2 cups.
Yeah.
One's already won 2, maybe 3. You go with the cup guy. Go with the cup guy.
Cap league. I don't know.
Man, I don't know. I think it's if it's Brian Burke, Brian's going to want a guy with a cup.
How much would a tandem of Ranta Johnson cost?
Oh my God, nothing.
Yeah, and
$5 million max.
And both of Calgary's goalies are UFAs. So
Yeah.
Well, and
Vegas
Elliott's not coming.
Vegas can pick one up for not taking an expansion pick out.
You
of
could,
it.
yeah,
So it's
you could
free.
just get him.
Just sign him in that little window they have. So why not do that and not give up one of your expansion draft picks?
Yeah, and if you're Brian Elliott, sign with Vegas, man. Take it.
Yeah.
Take the money, live in Vegas, and be a starter. Right? I also think.
I don't think he's going to get a starting job anywhere.
Well, he'd be a good backup somewhere. Be interesting to see if the Leafs go after something like that. I think that's why they're waiting. You know, Curtis McElhinney was really good, but there's going to be a lot of just goaltenders floating around out there. There might be some former starters.
There's going to be a lot of musical chairs going on.
Dallas is going to be looking to move one of Niemi or Lehtinen. And
how on earth are they going to do that based on the conversation we just had?
If you retain salary on those guys, because they've only got 1 year left each, retain salary on one.
Afford that.
Retain salary. Do it. You have to.
And they only have the
For a year.
rights to Bishop. Who knows if they can sign him?
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
Like, okay, would you take $2 million Antti Niemi for a year if it meant the Leafs got a few assets and he's your backup?
I would totally do that. Here's the problem. For Dallas, you sign Bishop. What's Bishop going to cost? Optimistically, somewhere, I think, between $4 and $5 million. Kari Lehtinen makes 5.9. Someone help me with math because I suck. What is 4.5 plus 5.9?
It's like 11.
Yeah, it's over 10. It's over 10. And then you're going to retain $2 million. $2 million. So you have a tandem that is not even guaranteed to be great for over $10 million and then shove $2 million on top of that.
Would you take a $3 million or $2.8 million Kari Lehtinen on the Leafs as a backup if you got assets with him? Considering that they have a ton of cap room this year.
Dallas can't afford that, though. They can't be spending $9 million.
$3 million.
That's even worse for them. So I also looked at, in my little article, I looked at buyout options. So
you don't want to get into that game.
Are we still signing but
Tim
it would be
Gleason's stats,
cheaper.
or-
It would be cheaper than retaining half. Lehtinen,
From now until 2030.
Guys, they're 1 year away. Can we bring up Dallas's cap friendly? I'd love to look
I
at
have
this.
it in front of me.
Okay, what are we looking at here for next year?
For next
do
year?
you just suffer through?
I think
you know
suffer
what I
through.
completely forgot? Dallas had 109 points 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, they are a good team.
So, sorry, what am I looking at here?
For Dallas's cap friendly, Adam, what do you want to know?
I want to know how much money they have projected free up for next year. To me, I'm
projected
seeing 20
cap
million.
hit 52.
So
so just over 20 million.
That's if the cap stays at 73, which apparently it's going to go up.
right. So
They're saying as high as 78.
I don't know.
With Vegas entering the league, I think that's why.
So
The
without
money-
even
the
looking
money
at the
from
goalies.
Vegas entering the league, because they had to pay a $500 million expansion fee, which just goes to the league, and I think that's why they expand. And then they had to pay $500 million or something on top of that. It's like a $1 billion investment.
That'd be nice.
It's very expensive.
without even looking at the goalies. So Esa Lindell, I don't know much about him, but he's a restricted free agent. Patrick Nemeth is a free agent. Jamie Alexiak is a restricted free agent. Yes, he is.
Really?
Yeah. Very athletic family. And those guys are just the defenders.
Like the Nurse family.
Like the Nurse family.
Yes.
Kia, Darnell.
Let's name more families.
What's his name from
The Sutter family.
the Eagles? Anyway,
The Courtnell family.
The Hearts.
Russ and Brett Courtnell, I think, wasn't it? Russ Courtnell and there's like 3 Courtnell brothers that played in the NHL.
the Carricks.
The Carricks.
I made that up. They're not related. Radek Fax, restricted free agent. Brett Ritchie, restricted free agent. Yuri Hoodler's a UFA. I mean, he's probably gone. Hemsky's a UFA. He's probably gone. And Patrick Sharp is a UFA. Even if they bring him back, it's going to be at a haircut. So they'll survive, actually. I think they'll survive, but...
Survive with how many goalies?
Well, they'll survive, like I'm saying, if they have to do something unfortunate, like a buyout. Or if they just...
Tough it out, baby.
Are you going to bury one of those guys?
No, retain and move.
Like, does Dallas have an internal cap?
No, I don't think so.
I don't even...
They might.
Can they afford to just gobble up, like, what, $3.5 million?
I honestly retain the salary, move him on, move Niemi or move Lehtinen, whichever's easier, and get on with it. Both are up at the end of the year. Tough it out. Do not do the buyout option because then you're stuck for 2 more years.
You're going to retain and give things away. Also, wasn't it announced that they intend on protecting Nichushkin?
Oh, here's a fun thing. We didn't even look at this. Niemi and Lehtinen both have modified.
I seem to remember.
Niemi's got a no trade clause, so you can't expose him.
They're both modified.
No. Niemi has just a no
you
trade.
can expose both.
Yeah.
Okay, Letninen's got a modify, but Niemi's got a no trade. So it's not
it's only no moves.
Yeah.
I have looked into this, and by that I mean
And
just
then
gone on
Niemi's
Cap
only
Friendly a lot.
15 player list.
Okay.
15 team list.
So none of those guys are. You're not obligated to protect any of those guys. Yuck.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, you look at their defense. I mean, okay, you got Paterin for another year. You got Hamhuis and Klingberg
For a nice cheap deal.
but those are that's it. That's all you have locked up, right? Stephen Johns, John Stevens. I mean, they got some work to do. They had some real work to do.
But they're another one of those teams where it's the Rubik's Cube. They got a couple sides to the Rubik's Cube figured out. Or no, wrong analogy. They're close to having a full cube, I think. But they're just a few turns away. It looks bad. But wait,
the right moves, they'll be fine.
And you get it.
And Jim Nill's not dumb.
They also have the 3rd overall pick. Let's not forget that.
Well, that's what I
cool.
suggested. Like, would Vegas be interested in? Okay, how far away is this from a good deal? Dallas sends the 3rd overall pick and Antti Niemi to Vegas in exchange for the 6th overall pick. How far is it? How far away is that from a good deal?
I don't hate that.
Yeah. I don't know if I like it if I'm Vegas, but
I don't know if I
you
love it
only
if
get
I'm
to move up
Dallas.
3 spots.
You know what? I don't like that deal.
Yeah.
One more year. Tough it out. Retain salary, trade a player.
The other one I came up with was Calgary. Now 6 to 3. That's not a huge jump. 17 to 3 is a hell of a jump. So would Calgary be interested in trading the 17th pick in exchange for Niemi and the 3rd, or Lettinen and the 3rd? But if you're Dallas, I mean, why?
is the Bishop move a bad trade now? Maybe they should have just stuck it out with these 2 goalies.
It's
and
actually,
tried again.
it's kind of interesting. They needed to improve on their goaltending situation, no doubt. But
they had 2 under contract who combined for more than $9 million.
Well, and the guy they got isn't necessarily a solution. He's a 6'7" guy who's 30 with an injury history, like a bad injury history.
Who got demoted to backup last season.
Yeah, there is no guarantee he's better than both of them or either of them.
Yeah, that was the puzzling part about the whole thing, was Bishop going to Dallas in the first place.
So you traded an asset for a guy who's not a guaranteed solution, and he's going to cost it about as much as one of them. Like, he's going to cost probably more than Niemi, maybe less than Lettinen.
So you think you're probably in the 5 range?
That doesn't seem like a great move, does it?
So you traded a 4th round pick so you can have 3 goalies who are basically the same skill level and the same money.
Well, which is why when they signed Lettinen and Niemi, you're like, it was kind of like signing the same guy.
Yeah, so remember before when you didn't have a leg to stand on in trade negotiations because you were the team in need? Okay, well, now you're more so. So, like, okay, if I'm, I don't know, let's just throw out a name, Calgary, and Jim Nill calls me, and on my speed dial, I see it's Jim Nill. I'm like, hey, bud. And I answer the phone with a smile every time because I win. You are coming to me. Is anyone going to Dallas right now? Who's like bursting through the door and get me Dallas on the phone? Oh my God! Okay, oh, I'm glad I got you.
Unless Jamie
we
Benn's
need
available.
Kerry Lettinen right now. We need him right now.
We need one of your 3 average goalies.
Now, supposedly, if you look at some of the, they've done a lot better with coming up with like more advanced numbers for goalies. Kerry Lettinen wasn't all that bad this past season. Even worse, you look at Bishop's numbers next to his; they're pretty close to identical. Lettinen was actually better.
Yeah. Something to keep in mind. Pierre LeBrun tweeted these 5 tweets, and they are very interesting.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes, and I will tell you the part that I highlight the most.
And he actually starts them with the word interesting, because he even knew they were interesting. Interesting. Have heard from teams who are contemplating using Vegas's unique free agent window prior to June 21st in this fashion. Team X could offer Vegas an asset in exchange for signing a pending UFA from another team during that unique window. Then Vegas would flip that signed player to Team X. But the key is that Vegas must wait until after the expansion draft to flip the signed player. That's because any signed free agent during that unique window counts as one of Vegas's roster picks for the expansion draft. So if one team wanted Brian Boyle, they wanted Brian Boyle and they wanted to get him early, if Vegas signed him and flipped him before the expansion draft, he would count against it as a pick from the Leafs.
So, Yes, here's how I interpret
Hang
that.
on, last
Okay,
tweet.
sure.
Might be worth the asset if Vegas for Vegas if it counts as an expansion draft pick from a team that doesn't have much selection to begin with. So if Vegas is like, well, I don't really want anybody on your team, might work.
Which, I mean, the Leafs are in a pretty good position. Now, so
I don't know if that's H8ter, but
here's how I interpret that. Oh, Adam.
wow, really?
I was like, no, they're not going to get Eric. Because
It's not an
his
H8ter
name is
assessment.
also a word. Oh, jeez. Here's how I interpret that. Montreal goes to Toronto. Hey, trade us the negotiating rights for Brian Boyle. Toronto goes, no. Montreal goes to Vegas. Hey, go ahead and sign this guy, and we'll get him back from you. Vegas goes, okay. They go out and they sign Brian Boyle. July 1st comes around. They trade Brian Boyle to Montreal. And Montreal goes, ha. Because they gave Vegas an asset that they didn't want to give to Toronto. You could look at it as Toronto wouldn't want to give Boyle to a divisional rival, and Montreal wouldn't want to give a pick to a divisional rival. Right?
True. Now, here's the great thing.
Purely
If
hypothetical.
you're a player and this situation presents itself, you must understand that you hold all the cards because you don't have to sign.
Oh, God.
So if the players are like, if Brian Boyle is going to get $2 million, let's just say, I think he's probably 2.5. He could probably go, okay, Vegas, Montreal, I'll sign with you, but it's going to be 4.
Oh, God, a bunch of players are going to get too much money. There's going to be a lockout in 2
This is
years.
why I don't think it's a great idea for a team like the Leafs specifically, some teams it'll make sense for, to go in and do something like that. Because the player will literally hold all the cards.
Well,
And then Vegas holds the cards too. So you're overpaying for a guy and you're giving up an asset.
the Leafs are in such a good damn position. Like, okay.
That's my point. Don't screw it up.
Who do we discuss are their big potential losses? Maybe Kirby Reichel. Maybe Josh Levo. Maybe Seth Griffith.
Maybe Matt Martin.
Probably not. Maybe Alexei Marchenko. Maybe Martin Marincin. And then you look at the potential UFAs you could lose in this fashion, or they just walk. Roman Polak, Matt Hunwick, Brian Boyle, who you just got anyway. Crimea River. Like, that's great. That's really good. You look up and down. Spend enough time on Cap Friendly, you realize how many teams are boned.
I was trying to figure out why the Leafs. Babcock, in an interview recently, talked about how the Leafs are about to announce a bunch of European signings.
Which is weird.
But the reason that they haven't announced them, including Callie Rosen, which has been reported but not actually officially announced, they have 50 contracts right now.
Yeah.
Right, but these contracts would not kick in until next year.
Fair enough, but apparently they can't announce, or it's not a good idea to announce all that yet. So they don't want to announce anything. And that's why I imagine Grunstrom, I don't think PTOs count against the 50 cap thing.
No.
And then that's why Grunstrom will play.
Someone asked an interesting question, and I didn't know the answer. Have the Leafs formally announced that they've signed Miro Aaltonen? Or was it just reported?
Have.
I think they did too.
I believe they did. And wasn't that the 50th? That wouldn't count for this year?
Maybe.
I don't know.
The 50th. I have a friend with the last initial L, and whenever I say into the phone, call Al L, Siri goes, calling Al the 50th. Roman numerals. They're fine.
They did announce the signing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then who the hell is it? Callie Rosen. Now, do you have the quote? Do you have the Mike Babcock quote? Like, did he say multiple? Because it sounded like
free agents. Because what Mike said, and I think he's right, is he's like, we want to have the Tampa model. He's like, they had so many injuries and they just missed the playoffs. He's like, I had Tampa. He said in the interview, I had Tampa in the Stanley Cup final, and he said, this is the problem we have. We don't have that sort of depth yet, and he's right. When you look at the Leafs depth chart, with Gauthier out for 6 months, they've got Cal O'Reilly on a loan. At the Marlies level.
I think they should look hard at re-signing Colin Greening because he's been basically the top line center for most of the season for the Marlies. I don't know if he's an NHL center really, but if you can get him for like, I don't know, $600,000-$700,000 on a 2-way deal, why not? And have him as your like 6th center. Because right now you're looking at, I mean, Ben Smith is your full-time 4th line center.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you re-sign Brian Boyle or someone else.
Well, and that's going to be. I mean, there's been a few articles written around in the blog sphere about this particular issue. The pension plan puppets have talked about it. The Athletics talked about it. Sportsnet's talked about it. It's all about so the Leafs are basically.
There's so much good writing.
There is a lot of great writing out there. There is so much talent on the wings and so much talent incoming. You got to remember that the Leafs are already stacked on the wings as it is, and like a guy like Dmytro Timashov barely played this year, right? Where I
don't even know if he was in the lineup for the Marlies last night.
And then you've got
I don't remember seeing him.
Guys like Bracco coming up. Now Adam Brooks, when you put him into the Marlies lineup, he's automatically the first or second centerman. Automatically.
Well, that's an interesting thing too. Oh,
so they need to figure out.
Was his injury announced?
No.
He got lit up in the WHL.
Oh, that's not good.
It was bad.
I think what'll be interesting is when they announce these free agents, I think you're going to see a lot of defensemen, and I think you're going to see Miro Altonen apparently can play center. I think you're going to see centermen. I think you're going to see people that can play center because they need it. And it's not that they're expecting I imagine some of these free agents, they're like, okay, you might have a shot at the NHL. You might have a shot, but we need you in the AHL right now. And we'll give you the shot if you can make it, but we need depth in the AHL right now.
Interesting. Like Corrado, not so much because it did seem like he was destined to just never play. But like Josh Levo, no one got hurt.
Brendan Leipzig.
No one got friggin'
Brendan
hurt.
Leipzig could be Josh Levo next year if the same thing happens. He's in the exact.
I don't think they would allow that to happen. I don't think they would allow.
So what do you do?
Happen.
And a lot of people, it's so funny. A lot of people see him as a surefire guy. A lot of people see him as a not really sure about him yet guy.
There's also who on the Leafs is going to lose their job. I still I watch Kapanen play. I'm like, I hate to pick on the guy, but you can't tell me the Leafs are better off with Soshnikov.
No, I
better
think
off with Soshnikov.
I think Kapanen is a few good decisions away. Like I think he just and you saw it like from the first game that he played to the last game that he played, the decision making that he made. He's got the tools. He's got the skills.
The goal he scored in Game 3 in the series against Syracuse, like Jesus Murphy, he's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. He's an unbelievable player. He can be one of your leading scorers. Can play on the power play. Can kill penalties.
It's conceivable that he comes up and plays top line minutes, and I'm not saying first line. I'm saying, because they really have 3 first lines, right? It's conceivable that he plays not on the 4th line next year. Yeah. Very, because
here's the trap we fall into every show.
Well, whatever. It's our show.
Hey, The Athletic wrote about it. They're like, what are the Leafs going to do with all their wingers? I'm like, it's not just me.
No, everybody's trying to figure that out.
I swear every time I'm trying to figure out like the Marlies wing situation, I'm like, Buddy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with all the drawings on the wall. Here's how it's going to work. They're going to move around this guy. And,
the Sabres announced today they have their 3rd GM in 20 years.
Oh, they finally did it.
Mr. Botterill from the Penguins, who's leaving the Penguins after they just win they win Game 7. Yeah. He's the assistant general manager, and they're like, bye, see you.
Mid-playoff run.
Yeah,
that's so weird.
Well, I guess they don't want, because they're probably doing a lot of expansion draft planning.
What's he going to do?
Yeah, they don't want
to... Stick around and win a cup.
Buffalo needs him.
He's going to get a ring anyway.
Yeah, but Buffalo needs him, and Pittsburgh doesn't want him around for those secret meetings.
Maybe.
Oh, that's true.
Definitely.
Yeah.
They don't want him to have more information than he already has.
And he's going to get a ring.
Yeah.
He's going to get a ring. I have a friend of a friend of a friend, I think, like 3, degrees removed. He was with he was with the Chicago Cubs, got a really wicked offer to go to some university. So it was obviously a step down because he's not in the MLB, but a much higher position. Then he can go back to the MLB.
And probably way more money too.
You're right. So he needed to stay with the Cubs for another 3 weeks in order to get a ring if they won.
Oh, and it was the first time.
So he said to the university, he's like, look, like this would be magical. Like, please let me start 3 weeks late. And they said, okay. Guess what? Got a ring. Got a Chicago Cubs World Series ring.
That's amazing.
Pretty cool.
Good for him.
Yep.
Sportsnet's got an article I think you should check out. It's by our good friend Luke Fox.
Steve Dangle. Oh.
8 sign and trade destinations for Ilya Kovalchuk.
Okay.
Fun. Just fun.
Jesse's into this.
Montreal Canadiens. There's no particular order to this, but Montreal Canadiens. You got to think Montreal is for sure in on this. For sure.
Yeah, because...
Whee! Montreal's that team. Dallas, he says, points out Dallas might be.
It's amazing people call Florida weird when Montreal exists. Hey?
I know.
Two wacky teams. Anyway, yeah, sorry, Dallas.
Dallas. Because you've got Hemschke, Sharp, and Hoodler coming off the books.
If they figure out their goalie situation, sure. Problem is it doesn't address the problem, which is their defense is terrible.
Well, they don't seem to want to be addressing that problem anyway.
Guess not.
Minnesota Wild, which I thought was interesting. He said, with an experienced core, you got Parise, Koivu, Pominville, and Eric Stahl are all 32 or older. Mm-hmm. So the window's closing. Their scoring disappeared in the playoffs.
Plus Minnesota's cap is $80 million.
Yeah, somehow.
So.
Yeah. I don't know.
They're like Chicago without the winning.
If you could get a discounted cap hit. LA.
Well, because he was rumored to be going there during the whole contract fiasco.
Well, if you can figure out a way to get Vegas, he said, to take Dustin Brown or Marian Gaborik. If you could figure out a way for them to take one of those guys, then you can fit Kovalchuk in.
Is Vegas gonna have like 30 picks?
Yeah. And are the Kings that bad if they can score goals? If you've got Carter and Kovalchuk, are they that bad anymore?
I mean, they were right in it with Peter Budaj. Peter Budaj played 60 games this past season.
That's crazy.
Peter Budaj. What year is this? That's nuts.
Edmonton Oilers. Chiarelli is the guy. Well, one of those $2 $6 million guys are going. Probably.
It's funny. I said, what? And then I immediately was like, well, that'd be fun.
Can you imagine McDavid Kovalchuk? That would be so wicked fun. Like, I hope that happens.
You know how that'd be so much easier to afford without Lucic. Oh, well.
That would be so much fun.
God. And then Puljujärvi comes into the NHL, maybe make some noise. Holy shit. Oh, my God. How good is their defense? Who cares? Whee!
It doesn't matter.
Yep.
And you got Cam Talbot playing like a rock star.
Yeah.
Carolina. One of the league worst goals per game, excuse me. They look like they're on the edge of something. And they have the assets to move.
Yeah, we talk about Tampa being a team that could have made it. Carolina came pretty close.
And they seem to be willing to move something. So like what Luke suggested was maybe take on Ryan Close's contract from New Jersey and take Kovalchuk because they got a ton of cap space because Close not playing again.
What is the situation with Brian Bickle? Is his contract up?
That's a good question. I think
he announced. Did he announce his retirement? I think he's done.
He is done. He's played his last game.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he announced retirement because I think he wants to keep getting paid. Florida Panthers. Because of course.
Kovalchuk Jagr.
And well, they're saying Jagr might be gone because he only had 46 points this year, don't you know?
Oh, come on. That's still great.
I think that's
How much
pretty
did he make?
Isn't it $1 million or $1.5 million or something?
No, it was much more than that.
Was it?
Yeah. I think it was closer to 4.
Oh.
Now, I'll take Jagr. I'll take him. $4 million.
Would you take him on the Leafs?
No. Well, Leafs don't need him.
I think Jagr ends up in Montreal.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I think he's a perfect fit for Montreal and the craziness that's going on over there. If there's any other wacky carousel that he joins, it's Montreal for sure.
No, tax is way too high.
Oh, he doesn't care at this point.
He wants the money.
It's so ridiculous looking at his name on Cap Friendly and you go to age and it says 45.
He's 45.
Absurd.
How far back does his contract history go? Because Cap Friendly keeps track of all that. Like you can go back and look, oh, this guy made this much money, and then he...
Yeah, you can go back to 1990, 91 when he made $150,000.
Get out of here. They have that?
$150,000.
Wow.
It's pretty good money for 1990.
There's no cap it, obviously.
No.
Oh my God.
Just make $150,000.
Sorry, here's year by year his salary.
Let's do it. This is going to be fun.
It's so cool.
So, how come there have been so many lockouts? Well, boys and girls, the first year I'm going to say is 90-91. The last year I'm going to say is 2001-2002. With that in mind, here we go. $150,000, $225,000, $700,000, $1.3 million, $2.8 million, $3.25 million, $4 million, $5.1 million, $5 million. Oh, he took a haircut. Followed by $10.4 million, $9.53 million.
Capitals years, right?
Probably. And $10.03 million.
Wow.
Holy shit. Yeah, I got out of hand for a while.
I think he's probably made over $100 million in his career, right?
I would think so.
I'm trying to. Didn't something come out where like he was officially like the richest hockey player of all time, or not the richest?
He and
but
LeCavalier have to be up there. LeCavalier's got to be up there too.
Yeah, he's up there.
Isn't he still on several buyouts?
Yeah.
He's been like bought out twice, and like wasn't he bought out and then
Vincent
bought out
LeCavalier is being paid by more people than Ryan Seacrest. Like he makes a lot of money.
Jagr's, he's like a time capsule of the economic history of the NHL.
Well, and you know,
so cool.
It's so funny when you look at.
I've never seen that before. That's incredible.
I saw a graphic or there was some retrospective on Wayne Gretzky, and it talked about what he was making in LA in 92-93. Ready for this? It's like $8.8 million. 92-93. That's big by today's standards.
Yeah.
Like
Crosby doesn't make that.
No wonder.
No.
That's $100,000 more than Crosby.
No freaking wonder there was a lockout. I mean, the salaries just got out of control, right? If Gretzky makes this much, and I am half of Gretzky, then I deserve half of Gretzky.
Exactly. And now you can make $4 million and like not even be that good.
Yeah. The last thing that Luke Fox said is the Vegas Golden Knights could end up with Kovalchuk because Shipachev was his teammate, and New Jersey could be like, okay, well, just don't take any of our guys, and they could go like,
and then Vegas can have a marketable superstar.
Yeah. Here's a bunch of cap.
Yeah,
I actually think
trade deadline comes around and they're not in the playoffs. Here you go.
That makes the most sense to me. Vegas makes the most sense.
I mean, the most sense to me is just stay in the KHL for one more year and then choose wherever the hell you want to go.
35, he doesn't want to do that.
But he doesn't want to do that.
He spent 4 years in the KHL. He obviously wants to be back. Now, Slava Malamud did tweet. Slava Malamud, who you should follow.
No, you shouldn't.
No, you should. Okay. He has some interesting tweets, but he does have some great information. And one of the things he tweeted was Kovalchuk would likely prefer to stay in either New York City or wind up in Florida. Wife and 4 kids are a major factor. It will be a sign and trade.
Yeah, I wasn't too happy with him last night.
Why?
Well, it's just, we're like a week removed from the Rob Rossi thing. And everyone's like, oh, we shouldn't listen to this guy. And then a week later, we're like, hey, this Russian guy said he's known Alex Ovechkin since he was 17. Better take his word as gospel.
Well, he's had other things that he's broken, hasn't he?
Yeah, but if he's there's a reason I don't follow him. Like, he's a lunatic. the stuff he tweets. Like, I was talking to someone yesterday. They're like,
tweet some crazy shit.
So someone messaged me. They're like, why is everyone taking Slava Malamud as gospel? You know what? Sometimes he has interesting stuff, for sure. But that is not my pace.
Listen.
That is not my pace at all.
If people take Mike Milbury as gospel, Slava Malamud is not
what I'm saying. Like, this is what I'm saying, man. Not my pace.
Do we expect Kovalchuk to play for another 10 years like Jagr? Because, that's the bar right now.
No.
I think he'll play till he's 40, 41.
Yeah?
I think he's another one of those guys just so good and so loves it. Just loves it.
I would love to know. Like, one day we need a hard dollar amount, how much money he left on the table. Because I know he went to SKA for crazy money.
But then the ruble fell.
I mean, even if maybe he might have broke even. I think that's the best case scenario.
If I were him, I wouldn't have left.
No.
Yeah, but then there was all these rumors and blah, 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 whatever.
No. Anyway.
And he got to live in Russia.
There's a lot of interesting stuff on the way. Good luck to the Sabres with Jason Botterill. Just, throwing that out there. Good luck. That's...
Supposedly, he's one of the better guys available.
He's got a master's degree, I think, in mathematics. And he's the reason that they were able to fit, who was it, Kessel? And a few other guys under the cap because he did some number crunching. He's the Penguins number guy.
Interesting. Well, I mean, yeah, okay, cool. I'm sure Brandon Pridham helped. I mean, takes two sides to tango, right?
Sure. Yeah. Not a dumb man though. Not just some guy that they hauled in off the street.
Fair enough.
I think it's.
Are you going to have to email Botterill the rules?
No. They said he was instrumental in the 09 team. and last year's team, and obviously all the teams in between. Like, he's been the assistant general manager a long, long, long time.
Right.
And Rutherford was not the remember, he worked with Ray Shero and then Jim Rutherford.
Rutherford, who they should have fired.
Well, we said it, man.
Whoops.
We sure said that.
Hey, look, they're not all going to work. They're not all
Hey,
gonna
we
be
have to do
good.
2 shows a week every freaking week of the year. Sometimes you're gonna miss. Sometimes you're gonna miss. Shall we do the WHL draft names?
Oh, yes.
No?
What?
No, I feel like we've missed that.
What do you mean?
The ship sailed?
Yeah,
We
it's
cannot.
over.
The ship has not sailed. This is a tradition.
Ship sailed, by the way, drafted by the Swiss Current Broncos.
Do you have them?
I could easily pull them up.
I
They're
think
on the
we
Dude,
should at
I
least
have
go.
avoided these for a week. I still don't know any of them.
Jesse,
like
we need
it's
to do
over.
them. It's not over.
No!
It's not over. We've been inundated with requests. We must do them.
Come on.
All right, I need to change the camera.
Okay. He's
Jesse,
gonna change it.
I'm going to go to the bathroom quickly. Let's take this opportunity.
I'm going to do it too, but I'm not going to get up.
WHL draft names.
Here we go.
No.
Yes,
Yes!
Jesse.
It's over.
Jesse,
No,
it doesn't matter.
guys.
It's not over.
Brickman House.
Let's hear it. Come on.
I have to pull up a comprehensive list.
A comprehensive
You
list.
had time to get this list. What were you
Over a
doing
week.
here?
I left as well.
Oh, did you leave? Oh,
I did.
Yeah, he left.
I had a bathroom break.
And I stayed here looking at Twitter. Stop talking about the bathroom, Adam.
Sorry. I just feel so much better.
That's fine. I wonder how many people right now, yeah, I'm talking to you, are listening to the podcast while on the toilet.
Yeah, tweet us if you're on the toilet.
Yeah.
Toilet tweets.
Pictures.
What should the hashtag be?
Pictures, no, please. That's okay.
I want pictures.
No,
I want pictures of your bathroom floor, the tiling.
I don't even want that.
No, because here's the thing: is that I know with our listeners, it's like you get the tile and then you get something gross too. Because of course,
There's always the one person who's like, let's get crazy.
Yeah.
And they just, here's my poo. Yeah, I don't need to be sent your poo.
just a poo emoji will do.
God, this one's okay. Now, new one. Tweet us if you're eating.
All right, so
Tweet us saying what you're doing right now.
well, I saw
I'm
someone
curious.
who said that they had listened to the entire show in Nice yesterday.
I saw that.
I thought
You're
that-
in. I'm always amazed
France.
when someone's like, I'm on vacation. And I'm like, I don't listen to podcasts on vacation.
You don't?
You're in Nice, France?
I listened to Dan and Carlyle on vacation.
Wow. No, I can't even.
I listened to you guys on vacation while I was in London last year and Pika got traded.
Well, that makes sense. You're on the show. And PK got traded. Like, that's huge. And he's going to win the cup this year. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty neat. I'm so excited.
It's weird. The whole story around the Preds has shifted violently. Like, it went from there's no way they're going to beat the Blackhawks to I heard people talking today about the Preds sweeping the Ducks. I don't think so.
I think it's somewhere in the middle. I think it could be a 5-6 game series, one way or the other.
One way or the other.
It depends to me on who gets out to the hot start.
I got to think the Preds.
I do too. That's what I believe. But I also last night thought Edmonton and Pittsburgh were going to win, and I was only right about one of them. So
Jesse's giggling. Are you getting into it?
We should start with Cloud Atlas character.
What?
Cloud Atlas is a movie.
Have you ever seen Cloud? It's a book.
It's a book and a movie. My dad likes the movie. That's why I
I
know.
like that.
No. I thought, for a second, they had drafted someone named Cloud Atlas, which I'd totally believe.
Drafted in the first round, 9th overall, Joel Sexsmith.
Oh,
That's I get that.
Sexsmith.
But he's the character from Cloud Atlas.
Oh, I didn't know that.
See, if you read Cloud Atlas, I think it would make more sense.
I wonder if he's related to former Vancouver Giants goalie Tyson Sexsmith.
Or Ron Sexsmith,
Yeah, I just McGuired all of you. Or Ron Sexsmith.
who is a Canadian artist.
Yeah, who performed at the zoo once.
19th overall by the Seattle Thunderbirds. They drafted Peyton Mount.
Oh, I was waiting for you to finish the name.
Peyton Mount?
Peyton Mount.
Yeah, no, I'm not that.
No, Peyton. There are Peytons. Peytons exist.
And
That's
Mount.
not a
Mounting exists.
fictitious name. Yeah, Mountains exist.
It's not too bad this year. First overall.
First overall, wow.
Yeah. First overall by the Prince Albert Raiders. They drafted Caden Guel.
Caden.
Caden with a Kaiden.
Kaiden. Yeah, I've seen that before. Caden's a big one. with the 90s kids.
That's a mishmash of two Mortal Kombat
And by the way, these
characters.
kids are not 90s kids. These are kids born after the year 2000.
No.
Yes.
No.
15, 16 years old. Yep.
Oh my god. I'm a little disappointed in this list so far.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm really let down. Everybody said it was great.
Caden is a definitely Western Canadian.
Try one
name,
more.
but
Otherwise, we'll do the press conference.
Guys, 177th overall. Aiden Bangs.
Nah. Damn, is this a dud? What's the worst one on there? Come on.
Is there not like a...
Jake and Smallwood. He went back into the draft. Come on, Jesse.
Cruz Plumber. Now, how does Cruz spell Cruz?
Uh-oh.
C-R-U-Z.
Yeah.
He spells it K-R-Z.
Wait a minute. So how do you even know it's
do you know it's
pronounced
Cruz?
that way?
I'm reading an article that says it's pronounced.
But there's no noun in that. There needs to be a noun.
No.
No, a vowel.
No, there doesn't.
A vowel.
No,
Because
there doesn't.
I signed the birth
I'm a
certificate.
millennial.
You're not even like it's millennials giving birth at this point. No, not even. This is Generation X's kids, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what is what.
Or they're older millennials.
I don't know what
Millennials
Generation
started
X
in
even is.
81 apparently. Millennials a huge generation. So
Honey, I've had a really stressful year at work, and I want to go on a cruise. We deserve to go on a Caribbean cruise.
KRZ sounds like an AM radio station in
Just start pronouncing
Montana.
everything. without
710 KRZ oldies and news.
vowels. Let's go on a Caribbean cruise.
In the 8th round, there was 3 Ethans, 2 Chases, 2 Michaels, a Tristan, Cade, Caleb, Cole, Hunter, Bodie,
Oh, Bodie. What
Ty, Logan, Austin, Noah, and Nicholas.
No, wow, what a dud. Except for Cruz, which is amazing.
7th round, Braden, Aiden, Riley, Jackson, spelled Jaxsen.
Oh my, no.
Jackson?
No, it's Jackson.
That's so, when I heard Jackson, like I'm starting to open up to it. I'm like, kids are named Jackson now. Jaxsen.
It's
What
almost
part
cooler
makes
to-
you more mad? Jax or Sen? For me, it's Sen.
I think it's Sen, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Jackson is not, you don't need the S. If you have the X in there, it makes the S sound. It's Jaxen or On.
Yeah, I get it. Sen, stop it. Stop it. Why are you hell-bent on no one ever spelling your kid's name right?
Because they want to be different, man.
Man, because there's no one like...
Because people don't realize that a name doesn't make you different. Your personality makes you different.
What if your name is Michael Smith?
You could be the most interesting freaking Michael Smith in the world.
I don't know if the
are
Dos
like,
Equis
wow.
guy could be Michael Smith.
In round 5, we got Levi Tyson.
I kind of like that
Not a
name.
leave-in.
It's
Levi.
tough.
Levi Tyson.
It's like the millennial Ricky Bobby. It's 2 first names. You know what I mean?
See, yeah. 2 first... Boy, this is a dud.
Yeah.
It's
I'm so disappointed.
In the second round, we can go through the first name.
No, let's roll. We should move
Braden,
on.
Ozzy, Logan, Tanner, Cole, Ryder, Tyrell, Scout. Oh, we got a Scout.
Scout's pretty bad.
Let's find out what Scout's.
Scout.
Scout Truman, drafted by the Medicine Hat Tigers.
Oh, no.
43rd overall. Scout Truman.
Scout Truman. Isn't Scout one of the names in To Kill a Mockingbird, or am I mixing up
Yeah,
my
you
books?
are
I
right.
think so. And no matter what this guy does, he has a future as a scout.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That has to put you to the top of the resume pile, right?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
His name is Scout. He's got to be good.
Some guy goes, you need to hire me. Scout is my middle name. And he goes, oh, yeah.
Scout is my...
Scout is my first name. Right to the top of the pile.
In the 3rd round, drafted 50th overall by the Spokane Chiefs, Mac Gross.
How do you spell Mac?
M-A-C.
Oh, my God. I thought you were going to be like P-L-Q.
Mac Gross.
I want to shout out Katie, who was listening to us in Nice yesterday, who is now at
moving
the
on.
World Championships. She just tweeted us. She's got her Dangle Navy signed at the World Championship game right now.
What?
I think that's pretty cool. I just wanted to jump in with that. I just saw it. Sorry, ADD here, but I
Retweet
Dangle
that.
Navy in Paris. Love
Retweet
it.
that.
Love it. Yeah, I think we can move on from that. Let's do the press
Damn,
conference.
that was disappointing.
Yeah, it is disappointing. You know what? Nothing lasts forever, like NHL headlines, right?
I still haven't let go.
Sometimes you guys should listen to me
You're right.
when I say, "Hey, let's just move on," and you don't listen and you force it.
I've questioned
And now
Jesse.
we're sitting-
Listen, Jesse, Dad, you're right. And next time we will listen.
Thank you.
I've questioned him twice in recent memory, and both times I was wrong.
It's because he's a damn good producer.
I was wrong.
You
for
should have
that.
heard him on the show yesterday. I don't want to toot my own horn, but the show was great yesterday because Jesse was on it.
I always
he's
love
outstanding.
when I hear young
Did you
Jesse on the
see?
radio.
Did you see who was it? Fleury toot his stick last night.
Yes, I did. I also like that Chris Letang posted it on Instagram and goes, "What is he doing here?" He was just shining his
Just giving it some love.
stick. Oh yeah.
All right, let's do the press conference.
The presser.
Why do cheerleaders? This is the second most upvoted question. Why do cheerleaders chant 2-4-6-8 when teenage girls can't even?
Oh my god.
Wow, well done. I love that.
It's not even legal yet. Oh my god.
Oh, that's funny.
1, 3, 5, 7. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Kudos.
What if the lottery is the biggest scam to catch time travelers?
Wait, what? How would that work?
Basically,
Explain.
I'm going to explain this pile of shit.
Please do, because I'm too tired. I've been up since 4 a.m. What is this? I don't want to think my way through this.
So basically, the theory is you would travel through time so that you could go through and win the lottery because you know the numbers. But the time travel police are going to take all the winners and go, aha! Caught you!
What if the lottery is secretly run by time traveling police?
Yeah.
Well, Steve did drop some numbers about Ovechkin and Justin Williams earlier that has me believing anything.
Morty, I have this amazing theory about Alex Ovechkin, Morty. I wish I could burp on command like Rick and Morty.
Who are you rooting for to see host the cup? The 4 final teams.
PK Subban.
Yeah, Nashville. Nashville and Pittsburgh.
Nashville's got some players I really want to see win the cup. That's a fan base I would like to see win the cup. Pittsburgh, I don't mind.
I would like to hear Donald Trump say, Phil Kessel is a 2-time Stanley Cup champion. I would love to hear that. I want Nashville in, and I want Pittsburgh in. Battle of the ugly yellows. Who can out yellow?
Oh, I don't know about that. I forgot in my series recap video. I want to commend Nashville for picking a decent jersey and sticking to it. Like they had some ridiculous garbage for a long time. Just what are you doing? Blue, fine. Navy blue. Yellow, fine. What the hell was the yellow they had? They had that weird alternate Predator logo.
Yeah.
They had the navy blue jerseys for a while. No, that's not your color.
Yeah.
Your color's yellow. And they finally went, well, they say gold.
Yes. Wow.
But get over yourself. It's yellow.
Can we just shout out the Ottawa Senators and specifically Guy Boucher for a masterful coaching job so far?
Hey,
Guy Boucher, man.
They're there.
There's a reason why he was like the guy who was a second away from being the Leafs head coach too, because he's great.
They're there.
And Babcock is great too, but and I'm not in any way suggesting that they should have taken Boucher over Babcock because I don't think so at all.
An Anaheim-Ottawa rematch would be great.
It would be.
Because how quickly until it is framed as the guy Babcock replaced?
I'm surprised it hasn't been already.
It's a battle of the guys Babcock replaced, really.
Mm-hmm.
In one way, shape, or form.
And he's a connection with the Ducks. He coached them.
Didn't think of that. Yeah.
2 final things. One note from me. Richard Panik signed $2.8 million deal per season.
With who? Chicago?
He re-signed with Chicago.
2.8 a year?
Yeah.
That's not a terrible deal, but can Chicago afford it? Is my question. Do they... I wonder if, is he Vegas fodder at this point? Because they can't protect him, can they?
I don't know.
I don't think they can.
But Yeah, Pierre LeBrun
44
wrote
points.
that he left money on the table by signing this 2.8.
I believe it.
Deal. Yeah,
Yeah, 22 goals, 22 assists.
it's not bad.
Not bad.
Not at all. Those are Jagr numbers.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
And then final question from Reddit. Steve, the zoo is on strike.
I know.
They ask, will you go back?
Will you scab?
Will you go back and lead?
Will you be
more
like the
tours?
replacements?
No, so I was part of a strike meeting once with the zoo. Like we got together and we voted yes or no for a strike, and it was really interesting. So I think a big reason there's a strike right now. I don't know enough about it, but I can tell you this: it's May.
Oh, this is the time.
None of the seasonal employees have been hired yet. So this was our thing. Our strike vote was during the summer, where the zoo, like the number of employees at the zoo, like doubles, and it's all students who have the job for money, so they can pay for school and shit. So all of us showed up, and a lot of the full-time employees were kind of side-eyeing us and not all that pleased because we were obviously going to vote no for a strike no matter what because, well, it doesn't benefit us to take like a week or two off. We need the money.
You're gone in September anyway.
And we're gone in September anyway.
Yeah.
Huh.
They had a strike vote, I assume, in May, and pretty much no seasonal employees have been hired yet.
So the thing that's been leaked, it's pushing everybody against the zoo workers as of this morning.
Yeah, I don't know anything about. I didn't know until it was announced.
So they said this morning, and people were obviously mishearing this. The zoo workers are looking for 100 days sick leave. Now 100 days sick
A year?
leave. Now hold on.
Okay,
this is
sorry,
everybody's
sorry.
reaction. This is what I'm talking about.
All right.
It means long term. They're looking for long, like if you're sick, if you're ill, you can't just take 100 days. You need a doctor's note. Like if you've got cancer and you have to have treatment for cancer, they're looking for paid leave. And then after that 100-day period, they reduce your salary. They still pay you, but extended leave for most people is actually longer than that, at least here in Canada. So it would be an extended leave thing, and that reaction right there was what most people were saying when they heard it on the news because it was one of the things being floated and making the union look bad.
Yeah. Well, and this is another reason why those meetings are they're very boring, but they're actually pretty interesting too because we had heard all these things whispered and the union wants this and they're trying to screw us out of that, and then you go to the meeting and they actually lay out for you, no, here's what's happening, and unfortunately you got to sit through it and be bored, but. Yeah, and then you go, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. That makes sense. No, I'm not a big fan of that. That makes sense. That doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've been
there's
in a union
your
once.
really exciting zoo union insight.
So you were in a union. I was in a radio union for a month.
Oh, yeah?
I got up to full time, so then I became a part of the union, and then I left, came to Toronto.
I was in a union at CBC, too.
Oh.
Yeah.
How'd that work out for you?
I got laid off.
We should start our own union.
Podcast.
For our show.
We should.
We should form a union.
Who would we strike against,
We'll
though?
be Chapter 42, Toronto. Steve Dangle Podcast Union.
Chapter 34.
Union Workers 67.
Chapter 69.
You know what? I'm striking.
Nice.
Nice.
The nice.
Yeah.
Apparently,
NICE.
Is it true, by the way? Is it true that our podcast on April 20th or 420 was 69 minutes long?
Apparently
Yes.
it was.
Yeah, which is unbelievable.
It's nice.
I don't know who figured that out, but
We
hats
should call
off.
the time travel police because there's some funny business going on.
Oh, my
there.
God.
Agreed.
Let's call up the OLG. Let's find out what's going
I
on.
want to talk more about the Toronto Zoo.
If there's any listeners, by the way, in Seattle and Idaho, I will be in Seattle and Idaho this weekend. I'm flying out tomorrow, coming back Monday.
Seattle looks so gorgeous in pictures.
Seattle's beautiful.
I'm jealous.
Idaho's stunning. Have you ever been to Idaho? Oh my God!
Fresh potato for me.
There are some damn fresh potatoes there, and I plan on eating them.
I'm going to PEI this summer, and I am also going to have potatoes.
Very good potatoes
We're going
and
to
red sand.
Potato places. Oh, yeah, I don't think I told you guys that.
Are they going to
Well,
sing you the
Yeah, you
Cavendish
did, yeah.
potato
Oh, I did?
song?
Yeah.
The what?
The Cavendish potato song. Have you heard that song?
Oh, I forget.
Where the farmers sing it.
Cavendish potato.
Yeah, from the farm we harvest them with pride. In our hearts, they know wherever we
This
go.
is over when you start singing
The
about
taste of
potatoes,
Cavendish
right?
will never die.
I'm Lester the lobster for PEI. An ugly little bug with beady little eyes. I can tackle anything up to twice my size. I'm Lester the lobster for PEI. And I think we're done.
So I'll see you guys Tuesday. Party time.
Have fun.
Love you.
Lobster.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness.